Pat, first of all, welcome to the CAA.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
Charlie, what do you think about a guy who's got to walk into a job and say to his freshmen, all right, you're not going to be freshmen very much longer?
Well, I tell you, I think he's the man for it. He's ready to go. One of the questions I want to ask you, Pat, before we get started, I know y'all are building a new facility. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's going to be spectacular. Tiger Arena will open up. For 2 years we won't play in there, but they've already got a wall up, so it's coming. State of the art, all the bells and whistles. It's really the only thing we don't have on our spectacular campus is a place for basketball, and that's coming. So that's I'm thrilled about it. It's what really excited me about the job.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you certainly were a very highly thought of assistant coach, most recently at Pitt with a great program under Jamie Dixon. But when you looked at Towson, what were the things that really appealed most to you in addition to this great conference?
Well, my athletic director, Mike Waddell, and I developed a really good relationship, and that's extremely important to me. And he knew what it's going to take. The arena, our academics, our athletics are catching up to our academic profile, which has risen dramatically. And then we're in the best recruiting area in the country. I was 3 hours to South Richmond, 3 hours to the North New York. Get good players. We got something to sell to them and get them better.
Well, Pat, I wonder a little bit about people want to know a little bit about style. You work with Jamie Dixon. I think one of the best defensive coaches in the country.
He is.
And I think his team probably shared the ball as well as any team around. What are some of the things you plan to do with the Towson?
I'd like to hope I was a sponge and working for him, because there's certainly a lot to absorb. We want to play a winning style, and to me, we have to have a level of toughness physically and mentally, so defending and rebounding and taking care of the ball, being efficient, getting good shots, identifying roles, and get them better. The one thing that I did learn at Pitt is we spent an inordinate amount of time on skill work every day. That we're doing the same here. So you got to get good players, but you got to get them better too. And this league is living proof of that.
I mentioned you're going to be depending on a lot of freshmen on a roster that does feature a guy coming back who certainly was a pleasure to watch as we did Towson games, Charlie. Robin Nwenko. You talk about rebounding defense. He eats that up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, doesn't he?
Well, we like when he does that. We've got to get him to consistently do that. He's got every tool in the tool shed physically. And when he locks in mentally, he's got a chance to be a force. So we've got to make sure we can get that out of him on a daily basis.
I noticed your schedule. I know you got a lot of young players, not of new players. You're not going to take it easy on them out there with that schedule.
No, we got Celtics, Lakers, Knicks. One thing is obviously our young guys will benefit from that, especially in the long term. Whether I benefit from that remains to be seen. And it'll get us ready for the league play. Well, areas that we have to get better at, and there'll be a lot of them, those will get exposed pretty quickly. And, so it's good for us. It's exciting, and we'll find out pretty soon how ready we are for it.
Pat, talk a little bit about some of the players, the new faces, and some of the guys you'll be looking at and leaning on in your first year at Towson.
Absolutely. The other returner that'll play for us that we're hoping for a breakout season because he's talented enough to do it is Eric Gums, 6'8" kid from Delaware that can kind of go in and out. And then there's 4 new guys that have jumped out. Kid Marcus Damus, a 6'6", 6'7" sophomore, junior college kid. I love coaching the kid. He makes 100 mistakes, but he'll run through a wall for. He plays really, really hard. So I like him. Chris Walden, a little point guard from Richmond that Coach Kennedy's staff had signed. He embodies kind of what you want in your program as a student athlete, worker, potential leader. So those 2 guys kind of emerge as leaders. And then 2 other freshmen have a chance to be very talented. A big kid named Javon Presley, who's about 6'9", 245, a 7'6" wingspan from Charlotte. He's raw, but he's a big cat. And then Deion Jones, who was the Gatorade Player of the Year in Delaware, 6'5" guard, has been better than we thought so far. So those guys got to stay humble and hungry, but they got a chance.
Well, I'm sure you'll keep them that way. Very quickly before we go, as we mentioned, certainly a great career working in the Big East, but you come into this conference now at its peak. From the outside looking in, as you watch VCU get to the Final Four, 3 teams got invitations last year. What did you like and see about this conference?
Well, it's an honor to be in the conference. It also poses many sleepless nights for you. And Coach Willem knows this from William & Mary, and I was assistant William & Mary years ago. Tom Yeager, Ron Berdovich, and their staff have risen the profile of this league tremendously. You hate using mid-major. It's easily the premier mid-major league in the country, and it's going to be a multi-bid league. So, I like the challenge of what we're building at Towson, of doing it in this league and making it happen.
Pat, thanks for joining us. Good luck this year. Welcome to the CAA.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Pat Skerry, the head coach at Towson University.
Go to ESPN3 for the complete replay of the 2011 CAA Basketball Media Day Live.